Okay, good morning, guys, and welcome to another episode of One Trade Technicals. As we all know, this is basically a market outlook session. We're looking at what opportunities we can get in the market, and then you guys get to see how I get my entries and exits in the market. Yeah. So before we get started proper, for those that will be watching this video on YouTube, please like and subscribe to the page. Fundamental wise, we have a whole lot of high impact news today. We have on 8:15, we have the euro. Yeah, 8:30, we still have another one on the euro. Then by 9:30, we have another high impact news on GBP. Then by 2:45, we have on the USD, and all are the same thing: flash service PMI and then manufacturing PMI. So we might see a whole lot of movement in the market today. Yeah, let's just see let's jump on our charts and then see what we can get. Now, when it comes to the pairs I actually trade, they have not been, how will I put it now? They have not been reasonable. So if you look at this on the higher time frame, you see that, okay, we more or less were in a bearish trend, and then we pushed up, pulled back, and then we created more or less, we failed to create another low, and then we created a high here. We broke that, shifted structure, we created a low. Now we now shifted structure back again, and then if you watch since then now, we're more or less been in between. Do you understand? And if you go to the lower time frame, you see that clearly that we're in a range. Let's go to the 1H. So now look at it on the 1H. We're more or less in the range. Price has just been in between this low and then this high up here. So it has not broken out of it. Until price clearly breaks out of this, that's the only time I'll start looking for what trades I can take. For now, it's in a range. Do you get? So I'm going to leave it alone. Now, next one is NZUSD. Now, NZUSD, I don't even know what to talk about this one. This one is quite selfish. Let me look at the 4H. 4H is still bearish. 4H is still bearish. So we basically created lower low, price created lower high, because this high did not actually break structure. Do you understand? So it's more or less like a lower high. Price is still trying to push the downside. It pushed, we pulled back, and then now we're still pushing back down. So we are more or less, I'm actually bearish. I have not shifted to a bullish market yet. Or can I say, no, we're not ranging. Now look at this here. Yesterday, price basically, we more or less created like a double top. Price created a high, created a low, failed to create another high, and then we broke to the downside. Now, what I was looking for yesterday was a simple retest and then a sell to the downside. But as usual, and it's not as usual, but then in this case, price did not actually do that. Price basically just pushed up and then it's still pushing up. Do you get? So it's more or less complicated. Now, what I'm going to wait for on this one, yeah, I have this low down here. So if price comes to break that low to the downside, then we're basically having a shift in market structure. We're basically having that continuation of the downtrend. We can look for that retest and then a continuation. What if we don't come to break to the downside? Then we have this high up here. But once price starts breaking this high to the upside, then we know that we're okay. We're more or less starting to shift towards a bullish market. So it's just to pay attention and see how everything will play out, basically. For now, it's just to sit back and watch how everything will play out. On all my pairs, there's no opportunity to trade. Yeah. So is there any other pair you guys want us to take a look at?
GBP USD.
GBP USD. Okay, GBP USD is doing some sort of simple break and retest. So if you look at what it has been doing here, we more or less created a high, created a low, failed to create a high, and then we started ranging in between, sort of. Yeah, and up to then we have still been in between. Do you understand? We have still been in between that range. That's in between this low here, this low that was formed here, and then in between this high that was formed here. So we're still very much in the range. Price broke out. Instead of us to retest and then continue the uptrend, we did not. We just started ranging. So we're very much in the range right now. Any other pair you guys want us to take a look at?
Gold.
Okay, good. Good. I'm not even expecting it to have anything. Gold has been shitty for some months now. The structure has been wild. Just what I was saying. Structure has been wild. Now let's go to the 4H. Let's look at this one, the 4H. Okay. The 4H is actually bearish. Yeah, if you look at the 4H, you see that we're actually bearish. We created low, price went back to create lower high. Now we're going to create a lower low. We're inside that whole bearish impulsive leg. You understand? So now let's go to the 1H. What can we look out for on the 1H? Hey, wahala. If you actually look at this here, price basically created this high yesterday. We created this low, high, low. Do you understand? We created another high, and then price just created a low, then high, then we started pushing to the downside. So price broke these lows here to the downside. This one's here. Since normals, I'm a break and retest person, what will I be looking for? Price has broken for a retest. Let's see. Is a 0.618 area rhyming with that level? Wow, why is my Fibonacci like this? Hey, wahala, I don't fuck up. Jesus. Revised. Okay, good. 0.618 is actually at that area there. So it's somewhere, if price can pull back to this area here, is a very nice place to potentially take sales from to the downside. But then, as we all know, it's gold. So we have to be careful. But then that's basically the trade that if you want to take, you can take. Is there any other pair you guys want us to take a look at? So currently, the only pair that looks like a setup is actually gold. Any other pair you guys want us to take a look at before we go? Euro USD, okay? Euro USD. Yep, this one too is in the range. So I don't know what's making all these markets range, but may God help us all. This one too is in the range.
There's news around 8:15 euro.
Yes, there's news on the euro, there's news on GBP, 8:15, 8:30. So we might see all this range starting to break, and I would love to see that, honestly. Any other pair you guys want us to take a look at before we go? Okay, if there's no other pair, I want to tell you guys something there. You can see that all these markets are ranging. Please, for someone like me, I don't trade range. Doing nothing is actually doing something. It's as important as trading. Sitting back and waiting for opportunities is very, very much important as trading. We are here for high quality setups. Like I used to say, if you waste your money on low probability setups or setups that don't have head, when setups that have head come, what will you use to trade them? Do you understand? So now for this Euro USD, I want to say something. If we can get price to break this low here, then simple, we can wait for the retest. More or less like a retest and then a continuation to get. So it's more or less that. So we can pay attention to that. Anyways, I want to wish everyone a very wonderful and fine trading day. I'll catch you guys same time tomorrow. Bye guys.
Bye.
Now person they attend meet.